Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join real estate entrepreneur and mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome back to Construct Your Life. I really appreciate him he had to step back from talking to the Senate, talking on his 75 podcasts, his 35 businesses. But we had the official legend, Mr. Diego Corzo. How are you doing, sir?
What is up, Austin? Doing very well, very well. Happy Monday.
We've been trying to get this one going for quite a while. And if you haven't listened to Diego's episode, man, back in the day, we're like at 470 episodes already. So yeah, like back like 10. So yeah. Check that one out. But just give everybody kind of a brief kind of 5-minute kind of who you are, what you're doing currently, and then we'll kind of get running.
Yeah. So I am I am 32 years old, realtor in Austin, Texas. I have a real estate team of around 10 agents. My portfolio, because I'm a real estate investor too, I have around 61 doors, and I have three other businesses that I help run. And then I reached financial independence at 26, became a millionaire at 29, but I am what Congress calls a dreamer, which is basically what the United States calls a dreamer. I am undocumented. So everything that I just share with you, I have done it without being a U.S. citizen, without having a green card, without having all of those things that Americans have, right? So I came here when I was 9 years old from Lima, Peru. Long story short was that I am at age 15, I found out I couldn't drive in the United States because I couldn't I couldn't get a driver's license. At age 18, found out that I couldn't qualify for student loans or financial aid because I didn't have the right requirements to show that I'm here legally, even though I graduated third in my class. And then at age 19, I found out I couldn't legally work. So I had to get creative, get resourceful, create my own company, because I could still create an LLC, even though I am undocumented. This way I still pay taxes and all of that stuff. And that's how I was able to pay my way through college. I was able to do websites for small business owners, small businesses, nonprofits, and pay my way through college. And then I moved to Austin, Texas after I graduated, when the DACA program finally at age 22 could finally work and drive. Then bought my first property at 23 and financially independent by 26 through real estate.
I love it. And we're going to, in true Austin fashion, we're going to zig and zag in this conversation because I want to, when I've been getting people back on, I want to talk to them about different things. It's well documented in your content about being around millionaires and everything, and that's great, right? And I think we'll talk about that for sure. But I want to ask a serious question, like, how do you, right? I'm sure you get frustrated, and I'm sure you're stressed out from time to time, but how do you maintain a level of happiness that I see in you every time I meet you, right? Everybody that you touch is so important to you, right? Whether it be for 5 seconds or an hour. Like, you really intentionally, you carry a level of connective happiness, support. How do you cultivate that? Is that something that you got from your parents, or is it something that you've cultivated over your life?
So it's something that has definitely come from my parents, right? But Hal Elrod has a quote. He says, "Be happy with the life that you have as you build the life of your dreams." Right. And I understood early on that happiness is a choice. It's not, because if you put happiness into actually like reaching a goal or reaching something that you work so hard towards to something, you're not going to be as fulfilled as you think you are. Right. Like for example, like there are certain goals that I hit or milestones and stuff like that. And you would imagine like there was nobody there like giving me an applause when I reached a certain goal on my own, right? But so for me, it's more about the journey, but happiness becomes more of a choice where you take in the gratitude that no matter what, like you take gratitude for what you have and what you are given, and being grateful for those opportunities, because you know that there are other people that don't even have what you have, right? Especially living in America, where unfortunately everything is so like materialistic, right? But if you begin to value what you like, the most important things, it comes down to like experiences, right?
Is this why you've been going to Puerto Rico a lot more lately?
Yes,
right? Because they're just such a zest for life. They're not worried about all the trappings.
Exactly. Yes. And it's a beautiful weather, and like you just go there, and it's stuff that I like to do, which is like salsa dancing and running by the beach and all of that stuff.
So when I get my clients, I treat them, I said, life, you are a big circle. For anybody that can't see, you're a circle. And we as humans, we focus on all the things that make us money. 9 times out of 10, when I meet a client, I'm like, what's your favorite thing to do? They're like, golf. And I'm like, when's the last time you did it? 4 years ago. I'm like, I mean, what, like, and so you can be successful, but you can also be very intentional about the time that you take for yourself. As you have multiple companies, you're a mentor, you're on podcast, how do you create boundaries within your own schedule, right? Which I think is the hardest thing to do as a real estate agent, which is the number one thing I see. How do you create boundaries in your own schedule?
Yeah, dude. And there was a point where I wasn't that good in it. And it was by creating, like by hiring out, creating a level of being able to understand that I just couldn't do everything by myself. Okay. Cause I had a transaction coordinator, but I'll tell you, like, cause this conversation is the one that basically changed the way that I do the business here in Austin with my team, was because I got called out at a GoBundance event. This was back in I believe it was in 2021. I was there at their winter event, and my roommate, Craig, he was the one that told me, dude, Diego, I've been watching you like since you've been here. And the first thing that you do when you wake up is check your phone. Then you're on the phone in the morning. And then when you're at the event, I see you and you're in your phone the whole time. And then he's like, dude, we were in the jacuzzi and you were on your phone in the jacuzzi. So just want to let you know what I'm seeing from the outskirts. How can I help you? Or why is that happening? I was like, holy shit, dude. Sorry if I curse, dude, but I was like, holy shit,
it's
dude.
Like a Mack truck.
Yeah. I was like, damn. Well, number one, thank you for calling me out. Cause he was like, are you here or are you not here? Right. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, dude, I want to be here. And he was like, okay, well, what makes you be on your phone the whole time? And it was like, well, I have 20 homes under contract right now. And as I have 20 homes under contract, like I'm talking to the listing agents, I'm negotiating offers, I'm talking to potential new buyers too, because I have, like, this is in Austin, Texas, where the market is freaking booming at this time. We're talking about like early 2021. Yeah. And I'm like, look, I'm talking to lenders and negotiating, because if we're not quick enough, we're going to lose our offers and all this. So he's like, okay, well, what do you need to do? And I was like, well, I already have a transaction coordinator, but what would really help me is if I do those deals with other agents. And then that's when we set up an accountability for me to, after a certain amount of months, I had to put my business in a position where every deal that any new deal moving forward, I would do with somebody else. Mm-hmm. And because I also understand that I'm not doing what I'm doing because of the money. So money is not the thing that's like, oh, well, I need to make X amount of money because like to make my expenses or whatever, right? It's not that. I understood that because because of my passive income and stuff, money was more like irrelevant, but I needed to understand that I didn't have to do everything myself. So when he said me that accountability, then by the next couple of months, then I was able to really do any deal that came in. I had to put myself in a position where I would do it with somebody else. And when I did that, dude, it gave me much more freedom, because then it wasn't me showing all the homes. Then it wasn't me like responding to every single email. Now I add clients on a text message with a second agent, and then they're taking on the conversation. I oversee everything, which is still good, but I'm not controlling everything. I am just overseeing. And that has given me the opportunity where like, I don't have to be on my phone 24/7.
Well,
I can,
what did it
yeah.
what it did on the back end way, because I know who you are as a person, it allowed you to even feed into more of what you live by, which is serve others.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so like the
Exactly.
byproduct is you got freedom, but you're also giving them the confidence to do deals that they might not have on their own.
Exactly. And give them into like extra income too, right? Which is great. And then it allows me to continue to get more clients, which is what I good at. I attract clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that's I would say one of my superpowers is attracting the right clients into my life that I can then help. And when I help those families, then there's more families that I can help, and we're helping them the right way with the team. And the team members, they usually are investors themselves, they're house hackers themselves, they're hungry. I attracting them into the team, so we have the same values. And I think that that having that is super important, because then it's the same mindset, and we're there to really help them. We're not in it just for the commission, and that for me is super important.
No, and I would say that, and I've had, most of your team on, not the new members, but I have most of the team on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And, it makes me think that like a book needs to be written eventually, like of the team, like, like the numbers are great, right? And your sales records are the best in Austin and all that stuff like that. But what I'm more excited about is just the story of everybody on the team and where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And what I would imagine, I'm not involved in the team day to day, but the ego is just not going to fly. Like there needs to be some sort of charisma and bravado and confidence, but
Mm-hmm.
but everybody's just so damn happy to be there.
Exactly.
like you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's infectious, right? And as
Mm-hmm.
a new team member, like you can only help but grow from that and get pulled in that direction. It's, as people say when they come onto our team, like the speed, like they never see anything like the lightning you move. And I said, yeah, like that's the game. We're excited. We're big. We want to do big things. We want to help more people. And so I would imagine having that team and the way it's structured is so much. I imagine it has a lot to do with the success of everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the way that we've been growing and everything. So that's been really, really good. Is that like when I understood that I could do things with other people and giving them the opportunity as well. That's how I've been able to grow, but also take a lot of my time back to do what I continue to enjoy doing, which can be travel or doing my own things too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what's interesting, and I'd be remiss if I didn't bring him up. I haven't spoke to him on the podcast, but I had dinner with y'all that one night. Like, man, your brother, like,
Yes.
I mean, he's such a, he got married. He's such a man now. He's running this fucking ridiculously huge company. And I don't know everything about the company, but I watch from afar. And I would imagine you have to have a lot of pride in kind of what your brother's created and who he's becoming. I mean, it's amazing to
100%.
watch. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And really to see that the way that the actions that he has taken, the decisions that he has made, and being the smart like leveraging the right way, but building his business the right way, I feel has given him that opportunity to be quote unquote, like he's the 12th fastest growing, he's the one of the fastest growing companies in Jacksonville, but also he is the work of choice, like number 12 or something within Jacksonville. And I feel like that comes with the values, right? Of leading people the right way. And I feel like that is one of the most important things, is when you have the right values, leading the right way, you create inspiration for other people within the companies, within any company that you have. And they become like, they enjoy going to work. They become quote unquote like one with the company. They're making the right decisions for the team, similar to what you and I were talking about right before the call. I feel like that is really important.
Well, and I only brought up your brother to bring up the people that spurred these two amazing humans. You know, I don't know them. I never spoke to them. I only see pictures on Instagram and Facebook. But first of all, I'll say on record, I do not want to go to one of your parties. I cannot hang. The band is in the house, but it sheds a lot about when you're flying home just to go to a birthday party, or you're flying home to go see this accomplishment in your family. Like, you know, talk about, you know, for anybody that's out there who's a new parent or parent, like talk about what your dad and mom instilled in you, for both brothers to be so successful in their career and impact so many people. Like, you know, what did they create?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that's important is that to understand that my brother and I are a result of the values, right, that my parents instilled in us, and the sacrifice that they did. And I highly believe that for anybody to achieve great things in life, that are more, that are, you can say like extraordinary, right? Like what my brother and I have achieved, in a sense, it's not the most common things for people our age. Is it possible? Is it possible for anybody? 100%. Is it doable? If we can walk away back, I can give you the exact plan that I did to get to where I am. But the key thing here is that there's some things that are more things that people cannot see, which is that why, right? Which is like having a strong enough why or desire to achieve that goal. And the why for me is to show my parents that the sacrifice that they did to leave their home country of Peru, that is totally worth it, right? Because sure, I can give you the steps, but the thing is that it's going to be hard, and some decisions you're going to be like, crap, do I really want it bad enough or do I don't? But when you have a why that's pulling you, so that you can say no to the excuses, but yes to the opportunity, or yes to that goal, because there's a strong enough why you're doing it, then you will achieve those things. And I think that seeing my parents go what they had to go through, is leaving their country, learning a brand new language, not being able, my mom, for example, not being able to see her dad for so long, and working, basically starting from scratch, moving here with $8,000, living in like sleeping in a bunk bed with my parents and my brother and I, sort of thing in the beginning when we moved here, to now having the life that we have now, is incredible. But it goes to the values that they instilled in us of work ethic, perseverance, resourcefulness. Like there's always a way to achieve those things. That we're in America, there's opportunity. We just have to work a little bit harder than others to find it. That was something that my parents always instilled in me. And it's something that nobody can take away.
100%. And I think my biggest concern is that, and I will do this podcast is a couple years from now when I have some more time, you know, generational poverty and generational wealth is typically created by the second person through the door. Meaning that the person that created or changed the family tree dynamic didn't do it for themselves. And I'm so impressed and inspired by the sacrifices that are necessary, because it's typically the third or fourth in line that gets to have the fruits of what was created, but that was built on the back of the ultimate sacrifice which was a better opportunity for the family.
Exactly. And one thing that was interesting, so a few months back, I was with I was on the boat with my parents and my cousin, and my cousin was like, hey, aunt, it's really cool to see that what you guys have here. This is the life. You guys are on the boat and you guys get to hang out, hear the music and everything. And my mom's like, yes, we get to do this now. But we went for years without taking a day off when we got here. My mom and my dad, the first 3 years in the US, they didn't have a day off. If it was a day off, they either clean houses or clean pools or mow lawns for other people, or took extra jobs just so that we can make it happen, right? So people see the boat and what we have now, but it's still like we came from like zero, and there was so many sacrifices that people don't see that, because now my parents can take off like 3 or 4 days out of the week and do what they want to do. But for years, they didn't take that. They didn't have that luxury. They just worked for the future, and they had the long-term mentality, rather than the, hey, I want this now, right? And they also instilled that to my brother and I, and us having that mindset has helped us a lot too.
No, I love that. And so we're going to shift gears here. You know, you started what you just launched is a mastermind.
Yes.
You know, and you had one before, but now this one is, you know, yours alone. You know, what are you going to be teaching people? You know, what are they going to be learning? And then what are the benefits? What are you looking to give and serve people with is what I'm asking basically.
Yeah. So the new mastermind is called the FI Investors, the Financial Independent Investors. And I have seen that your peer group is one of the most important things. Just like your parents instill the values in the beginning, right? As you become adults, a lot of the stuff is your peer group, it's your sphere. And by surrounding yourself with like-minded people that their norm or their standard is a certain thing, whether like our standards is going to be to become financially free. And we want to help people get to that level, right? So as we are creating that standard, we're going to be holding people accountable to be able to take actions to get to that standard and giving them the right plan and having that. Because I bet you it has happened to you where if you're not hanging out with the same people that have that vibration or the same level of entrepreneurship with that mindset, you tell them what you're going to be doing and you're like, dude, why are you going through all that effort? Why can't you just get a job? Or are you sure you want to go do that? What if that goes bad? And it's like, well, there will be some challenges, but on whatever path you take, if you're surrounding yourself with the right people, it's going to shrink that, like how long it can take because of the network that you're building, because of that accountability, right? So the mastermind is all going to be about helping people become financially free through real estate. And also, so we're going to have some guests. We're going to be having accountability on like how they can build their portfolio, question and answer on different ways that they can invest and different strategies, right? Whether it's Airbnb, investing in multifamily, investing out of state, short-term rentals as a second home, stuff like that. And my favorite part is going to be leveraging the connections that I have made through my mentors in GoBundance, because I shared everything that I have done, but I wouldn't be where I am without the mentorship of the GoBundance guys. Is I'm going to have a millionaire case study call every single month. And that is what gets me the most excited, because I'm not just going to be talking to them about how they built their $1 million net worth. I'm going to be talking about who they had to become to get to that $1 million net worth. Because that becoming allows you to not lose it when things are tough, or that becoming is what allows you to not quit again when things are tough, and to have the patience that's needed and the right tactics, and to become the person too, so that you don't just sacrifice so many different things, because some people will sacrifice their family, their health, and everything just to reach a certain level. And what I want is everybody in my mastermind to become a millionaire in all areas of life, not just the money part.
Yeah, and I mean, that millionaire case study, like you didn't pay for those guys to coach you. So I mean, having that experience, having that, close conversation, I mean, is super. I mean, you can't beat it, right? Like I tell everybody till I'm blue in the face, like my hour-long call with Christopher Lockhead, that entire call changed my entire life. I mean, like,
Yes.
and it's like, I know it sounds like ridiculous to say, but like the guy sold his company for 4.3 billion. Like that 1 hour call, you can't pay for that mentorship. So
Exactly.
I'm trying to use the podcast as my own, but it was a great call either way. But it's
exactly.
like, and those are the guys you're talking about bringing into the group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what happens is they're bringing on, and then the people are going to get inspired. Then they can reach out to them, and then they build on that network, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like your network, your peer group is
as great as it is for you to coach them. They're really paying to hang out with the other people in the mastermind. That's what that's where the value is.
Exactly. I'm just a facilitator at the end of the day. That's the way that I see it. It's like, look, I have experience, I have everything, but I'm facilitating an environment so that they can continue to grow and to invest with other people, right? And I tell everybody when they join the mastermind is, look, I want everybody to find their unfair advantage. I believe that everybody has an unfair advantage, but it's up to you to find it, right? An unfair advantage when investing in real estate or in business, but when I talk about this, it's mostly in real estate. It's either time, money, expertise and knowledge, right? Or your network, And so time, money, expertise, knowledge, and your network. Those are important because sometimes, for example, when I first got started at the age of 24, I had some knowledge and time. I had a lot of time, right? But I had no money. So then what happens is I partner up with somebody that did have money, and then they were able to leverage my unfair advantage, and I leveraged their unfair advantage. And then we started to invest in real estate, right? For some people, it can be, hey, I have the money, I have a W-2 job, I am bankable. And then you have somebody that just quit their job and they're not bankable, but they do have the time now that they don't have a job to go out there and hustle and call and work acquisitions or whatever. So that is a great opportunity. That's a great opportunity to partner, right? So those are the conversations that we're going to be having within the mastermind, is to help them find their unfair advantage, and understanding that as time continues, your unfair advantage is going to change. Because now I have some more money, but I don't really have the time to go out there and do the acquisition side. So then I either hire somebody out or I partner up with people that can work on that acquisitions, and now I can do my own unfair advantage.
Yeah, and D really well, but you spoke at one of my events, and there was a bunch of speakers there, and this is the topic I want to get on because we've screwed this up on social media. I said, D, what'd you learn from the event? And he goes, well, from Diego, it was really like everything I needed to hear. Have a high paying job that makes you good money, take a portion of that, invest in a long-term asset, rinse and repeat. And so I have a new philosophy, and obviously I'm in a different place too. But my biggest issue is that you quitting your job, or you burning the boat, which I'm all about. That's what I did. But what I'm saying is, you doing that you don't realize how unbankable you are. Exactly. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you can do both, especially with technology, especially with partners, especially with everything we have going on. So really, I think the key, I've changed my entire philosophy about real estate. Okay. And the reason I changed it is because I've been 7 years trying to get projects across the line from lenders, and it hasn't worked. So what I'm doing now is I'm buying cash flowing businesses, and then we're going to use the cash flow out of the businesses to go buy real estate so I can fund my own deals.
Exactly.
And here's my philosophy with real estate. Real estate is a place that you park capital, not where you win the lottery.
Exactly. Dude, I agree 100%. And I'm a big believer in people building their active income or their money machine. Realtor is my money machine. My brother's money machine is wholesaling, right? We're in the same industry within real estate, but wholesaling and being a realtor, it's either a business or a job. You're not really investing, right? But then you can take all the income that you've made through there and invest it for passive income as you're buying assets, which are multifamily, like homes, whatever way that you use to invest in real estate from that perspective, and turn that into passive income that pays you monthly every single month.
There's 3 buckets of income, and that's what people don't understand. There's short-term, high income, what you're earning. There's long-term investment, and then there's wealth creation. And you have to get the money flow of those things. Okay, perfect example. We're buying a business that does 4 million a year, but the way that their jobs are structured is that they'll go 2 months without cash, because these are massive jobs, 500,000, $1 million. What we're going to do is we're going to center the company up on subscription models and residential pops of cash. And then the design work is going to come in as a bonus. It's not going to live and breathe the business. There really is something to kind of the flow of money and how it's coming into your account, because this is what people don't talk about. This is where it gets screwed up. Is money going the other way, only going out and not coming in, messes with your confidence, and then you make emotional decisions. So even if it's $100, even if it's $300, even if it's $1, you got to have money coming in. You can't go long stretches without any money. It makes you very nervous, and you do dumb things.
Yes, you begin to listen more to your emotions because you're seeing those big changes in your bank account, let's say. And then now you're making decisions because of the money, not because of what would really help in the long term.
Well, look, the market's changed. Obviously, you're an agent, but the market really didn't change. I mean, like, either you're an investor or you're a real estate agent. That doesn't change. You don't move with the whim of the economy. You operate, and now you might have to change your tactics. You might have to cut back on some things. But your day-to-day really didn't change anymore. And now it's more about mindset preservation than it is about doing deals.
Exactly. And I think that right now, dude, because in Austin went crazy, right? The last 2 years. Imagine this, we lost 10% of I believe it was 10% of agents didn't renew their their license last quarter in Austin, right? Yeah. So that's 10%. And I think it was more, but I don't remember, but I know it's 10% or more. And what's interesting is that now one of the things that I've been telling my team is that, guys, it's going to get harder. We're going to have to work a little bit more, because the easiness of getting a client where everybody was buying and everything, that doesn't exist anymore.
This top business consultant, they said, what did you tell your sales guys? They said, welcome back.
Right. Dude, we were going through somewhere like some of the new agents too, were like, hey, I got an offer and there's no appraisal addendum, like to not have an appraisal. What do I tell them? It's like, dude, that is completely normal. You just don't even mention it. Like, you don't tell your seller, hey, on this offer, we didn't get an appraisal thing. It's like, we're in a different market, right? So one of the things that I'm telling them now is like, hey, it's going to get a little bit harder, but now the goal is to get market share. Because if what's going to happen is later, as the market's going to slow down, but as we build market share, then when the market comes back up, now everybody's going to know us. There's going to be a lot more people that we're going to be able to help, because we work by referrals most of the time here within my team and stuff. Now it's the time where as we get the market share, we're going to get rewarded so much in the future. And I'm starting to see that within, for example, in Austin, there was in Texas too. There was a period of time where in Austin, actually, there 1 month in August, 850 either teams or realtors or groups that are in that are with their license did transactions. In September, 352 transactions. So there was like 40% less people did transactions, which is crazy to think how the market has changed. But I'm like, guys, now is when we get the market share. And you have to come with that mindset, because if not, you're going to be like, holy crap, like we're not going to succeed.
Well, think of this as an Airbnb property, right? Think of your life as an Airbnb property. Everybody wants to be busy. When do you get to do maintenance? Right? And so instead of being upset about it, this might be a time to fix the house. Well, guess what? You as a person in your company, your maintenance too. Maybe you didn't get, maybe you can post more on social media. Maybe you can clean up your backlinks. Maybe you can do a newsletter that you want to do. Go on more podcasts. Like there's always an opportunity, right? Here's the things that there's two things that always find a place, no matter if you want them to, if you don't find a place for them, they'll find a place. Money and time. If you don't have a direct intention with those two things, they will find a place.
Exactly.
And so you can sit here and you can complain and you can do all that. I'm doubling down. I was part of Arte Syndicate, and this was when the economy started shifting, and Ed was doing a talk, and he doesn't really do his company anymore. He's a consultant, and they're like, hey, we're about to let go, like, half the team and like scale back on ads. And he was like, no, you're not. He's like, no, you're not. Pull out $1 billion loan and hire and double hire. And then when we come out of this, we're going to be that much, we're going to get the market share. That's what winners do. They just go in and they double down. Because if you're not going to change it 5 years from now, why would you change it, in this 2 month span? Like if you have a plan, you have a vision, then just stick to the vision.
Exactly.
So important. So if people want to find out about the mastermind, they want to find you, how would they do that?
Yeah, they can go on Instagram, they can go to Real Diego Corzo, or they can go to defyinvestors.com, defyinvestors.com.
Guys, I don't endorse a lot of people, but I will endorse this man 100%. If you want to learn real estate the right way with supportive people and you want to jump in, you've never heard me do this in 400 plus episodes, but that's how much I care about him and what he's providing. And so you would do yourself a favor by checking it out. So run over to his thing and sign up. And if you got some value from this episode, send it to a friend. And we'll see you next time, guys.
Thank you for listening to Construct Your Life with Austin Linney. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and pay it forward by sharing with a friend. Most importantly, take this opportunity to start constructing your life by taking immediate action on what you learned. For show notes, resources, and more information on one-on-one coaching with Austin, visit constructyourlifepodcast.com.